Good morning, everybody. How you doing today? My name's Andrew.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Tyler. I'm Pop-Pop.
I'm Callie. I'm Ronnie.
And we're some of the Veggie Boys.
I'm Girls.
And we'd like to thank you for stopping by. If you're new here, please consider subscribing because we can grow a lot of stuff on the farm, but one thing we can't grow is this channel without your help. Welcome back, everyone. It's so nice to have you with us. Temperatures are much cooler today. Our high is just gonna be barely getting into the low 60s. And with a whole bunch of rain that we got yesterday leading into today, it's brought a cold front that is now sitting right on top of us. It is a little cooler than I'd like it to be, but thankfully this is getting us away from that intense heat that we dealt with for the past week. We're gonna be getting started on morning chores. We've already checked on all the greenhouses. They're looking good. We might go for a walk through them a little later on, but the next big job for us is taking care of animals. Hello. What's up, buddy? Huh? The new guy. No escaping. Wait, no escaping. Escaping's bad. Stay in. Greenhouse number 4 is looking so empty. Daniel is currently grabbing some trays to fill up in front of the farm market. Every single day we make a list of all the different varieties of plants that are missing and we try and fill everything up. It can take some time, especially after a busy weekend, but we're always bringing up different varieties of tomatoes, we're bringing up different varieties of peppers, the pickling cucumbers, the regular there's just so much to be brought up. On the wagon right now, it looks like he's got a few different varieties of tomatoes. He just loaded some zucchini and pickling cucumbers on. He's got a whole bunch of basil, some parsley, cole crops. And what else do we have on the list yet?
I need hot cherry 806. I need jalapeno 806 and 32. I need poblano 32.
Oh my, okay, that's so much. You can stop, you can stop. Here's the other thing. I got the hot cherry peppers. Hot cherry, Cubano. Found the poblano peppers, and I think whoever picks up these is gonna be excited about them. Daniel got his wagon filled up with just about everything that he needed, so he took that up top. We walked through the greenhouses a little earlier on, but I'm taking another stroll. I don't think anything's gonna need to be watered today. We were able to get it watered yesterday. And with the weather switching over from warm and sunny to dreary and rainy, I don't think things are gonna be drying out. All that green over there along the wall, that's our first planting of peppers, mostly sweet peppers, and they are growing way too fast for my liking. I'm just kidding, they're just growing really fast. I just don't expect them to grow this fast every single year. Those are nice. Currently in greenhouse number 6, and I'm walking through some of our tomatoes that we've staked up. Now every day I walk through here, I try and pick out something new that I've seen that I'm finding that's an improvement over how the plants have looked previously. And one thing I will notice, and I think the camera's doing a good job at picking this up, the amount of new growth towards the top of the plant. You can see at the top of the plant, it's a lot lighter green, it's a lighter color, as opposed to the lower side of the plant where it's a little darker, and that is a really, really good sign. Because we're starting to see the plants push more blossoms, and we're starting to see this light green growth near the center, that means that the plant is actively growing, and it's growing healthily, which is very important. Now, all of this new growth is very important for us, and it tells us so many different things. Not only is it telling us that the plant is putting on new blossoms and producing new fruit, but it's also growing taller and it's growing stronger, giving more opportunities for us to have a later harvest, later than what we're already seeing on the vine. The only thing I really would be concerned about if I was walking through here finding new growth, if the new growth was like yellowish colored and all twisted up, that would be a sign that there's an issue. Now, just making mention of this, if you possibly are dealing with this issue, if you are starting to see some yellowing and twisting of the plants, it could be a whole host of problems. One of the biggest issues is it could be deficient in the nutrients that it needs. Adding a fertilizer can combat this. Another thing is inconsistent watering. You're letting your plants like completely dry out too much, they're not getting enough water, or if the temperatures are extremely hot, that can add a lot of stress to these plants and will thus mess with the new growth that is coming on. I've talked about this previously, but just being consistent with all your plants is super important, and it can be the difference between a beautiful crop and a bad one. I've seen quite a few viewers mentioning how they're enjoying this project that we're undertaking. I think we're enjoying it even more than all of you, but I'm trying to document it as much as possible. Even on these cooler days where the tomatoes won't grow as fast, they still are growing like crazy. And very shortly, we will be harvesting. And the next little project that we've got going on down here, it's gonna be, I think, over here. That's where we're gonna put it. You just wait and see, you just wait and see. I keep teasing this project that we have coming up, and I'm just excited about it. I've never done something like it. And yeah, I'm excited. The kids are excited. Pop-Pop's excited. Pop-Pop's really excited. I'm gonna be making my way up to the germination greenhouse. We have some peppers up there that need to be attended to. Before I did that though, I got 2 baskets of eggs graded, and now I just need a box to take them up. Now I only brought up 3 trays, so I hope this is enough. What I'm gonna be doing is going through our peppers, taking out all the doubles and triples, and filling in all these blank spots. Probably should have done this sooner, but we weren't able to get to it with how busy we were. I'd say the only real concerns I have is because these plants are starting to get rooted a little bit more, that they might experience more transplant shock than usually when we do this. But it is what it is. We ran out of time, and Now we finally found the time to get this job done. So ultimately what I'm gonna be doing is going tray by tray and looking for any spots where I find 2 plants in one cell, and I'm gonna pull out the doubles and pull out the triples. And these extra plants, I'm gonna be finding empty cells and filling those up with the pepper. This will 1, clean up the tray, and 2, give each pepper enough room to grow. As you can see, these peppers are much smaller than what we have in the lower greenhouses. This is a later planting of peppers. And when these peppers start to get some really nice size to them, they run low on root space. And if there's more than 1 plant in each cell, well, they definitely run out of room. Not only does it affect their growth at this stage of their life, but as they get older, and even once they are transplanted into the field, they do experience a little bit more of a transplant shock because their roots are being ripped apart and pulled on while we're planting them. If we have to separate the cells, it's just not a good thing. So that's why we're trying to get this done now as opposed to later. Here's a problem. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5 plants in that one cell. That's what we're looking for. That's the bad ones. When you're doing this, one of the most important things is making sure you grab the same variety, because maybe once in the past I might have grabbed the wrong variety and had a tray all mixed up. Thankfully it was just for us, you know, if that did happen, but it happened. Pop-Pop was not happy. We almost did it one time with some sweet banana peppers and some hot Hungarian wax, and if you don't know much about those 2 varieties, I will tell you the most important thing about those 2 varieties and what they have in common. They look exactly alike, and you don't want to be mixing up your hot wax with your sweet banana, because you could have a bad day. I've seen it happen in the past, especially when people were trying peppers out in the fields. Now, I mentioned how important it is to not mix varieties, and this variety that we're transplanting right now is called Revolution. And Revolution is a pepper that, if you've been following the channel for quite some time, if you've seen us harvesting peppers, you've heard about Revolution. Probably the #1 thing I'll mention about these Revolution bell peppers is how consistent they are. They've been consistent for us since the time that we started raising them. The plants themselves have a vigorous growth habit, which means you're going to be getting a large plant and a lot of peppers, which, as you can imagine, for a family that raises a lot of peppers and sells a lot of peppers, that is an important factor. Another thing is it does really well fighting against disease. With all of the shifting weather conditions that we deal with, whether it's a wet or dry year, Revolution bell peppers is just one of those varieties that we've always used and we've had great success with. Now, the plants looking nice and the plants producing is very important, but the actual crop, the fruit itself looking good, is also a big factor into how many peppers we sell. These Revolution bell peppers, the peppers that are produced, are these big, blocky bell peppers, and they have such a great flavor. They look so good. And this specific variety, it starts off as green, but as it matures, it turns to this beautiful dark red color with such a sweet flavor. Now, the peppers themselves, they do have these really thick walls, which is important if you're raising them like we are for market, or if you're just raising them at home. They're such a great pepper. They're a great slicing pepper. Now, something that is kind of a blessing and a curse when it comes to these peppers, because they produce so well, because they create such large fruit, you can run into a problem if your peppers are producing so well and your plants are so full. If you get a little breeze, it can break the plant. It's nothing against the plant. The plants are strong, but when they're holding as much weight as they are, I'm just saying I've seen it happen. One way to combat that is by harvesting a little bit earlier than you'd like to. Sometimes taking some of that larger fruit or taking off some of that smaller fruit that will cause problems later on, especially if you're trying to wait for your peppers to mature to that reddish color, that sweeter pepper, as opposed to those green bell. It's just a risk you could run into. Thankfully, we don't run into too much of that problem. We are picking often and early, so by doing that, it prevents the plants from really splitting apart. Overall, this is just one of those varieties we've been raising for many years. I've talked about it a lot on the channel, and it's one of those varieties that we just have success with, and we like the variety. We don't plan on stopping raising it. We've been trying out some new peppers. We've got a new bell variety that we're trying this year. Who knows? Maybe we'll find something new that we like. If not, we'll come back to Revolution because it's treating us well. And by taking the time now to go through these trays and open them up a little bit, it's only gonna benefit the peppers, helping the plants to set earlier on. I don't like disturbing the root base at this moment in their lives, but if I don't do it, well, it's only gonna lead to problems. Now, there is a way to avoid this by seeding these peppers by hand. Some might say we wouldn't have the doubles, we wouldn't have to do all this extra work. An interesting thing about peppers is that their germination rates are notoriously bad. Yeah, believe it or not. If you're getting 75 to 80% of your seeds up, you're doing really well. For bell peppers, getting up into the 90 percentile for seeds coming up, that's unbelievable. Now, because we have the heating tables and we have a specifically designed greenhouse for germinating, it does go well for us, and usually we can get up into that 90th percentile, but it does not matter. You sometimes will just have seeds that won't come up, and you'll have to fill in the spots anyway. So using the air seeder, it saves us a lot of time, and it makes this job that we're doing today a little more manageable. By getting everything seeded and by getting these peppers started, it's saving us a lot of time and a lot of headaches. If we seeded everything by hand, we'd maybe have less doubles, but we would still have open spots available. So coming through at a later date like this and getting these volunteer peppers transplanted, it's an easy job. It's a fun job. It can get a little monotonous, but I enjoy seeing the peppers in the trays. I just got all the bell peppers taken care of. They looked really, really good. I didn't find too many doubles. I didn't find too many with 5 in one cell, maybe a couple. But the bell peppers are now all finished. You've got close to 1,500 plants here that'll eventually be planted out in the field. That is a lot of peppers. We've also got some jalapenos here. They need to be gone through, and we have some Italian sweet, but I think next we're gonna be doing the Italian sweet. I've made a lot of progress this morning. I was able to get all of the Italian sweet peppers gone through, and I got all the doubles pulled out. There was quite a few in there, and there wasn't that many empty spots, which makes me feel good, but this is what I had left over. That's why I filled up those trays earlier on, so I can just put these Italian sweet peppers right into this tray. Now it's definitely going to look a little crazy here, but these were way too tall to be transplanting into another tray, but there's not much I can do about it except give them a drink, and in a couple days when the roots get acclimated to the new soil, it'll stand up. I'll be What are we having for lunch today?
Remember how they were going to send all those power lines?
That looks really good. Sausage hoagies for lunch.
Saturday, scattered shower Sunday.
Watching the weather. It's looking like Tuesday through Thursday. They just took it off. Tuesday through Thursday, we've got an opportunity.
I was talking with Dad. I was able to get a whole bunch of stuff done in the greenhouses, but he asked me to go for a ride and check on the potatoes, make sure that none of them need to be cultivated just yet. We are starting to see some really nice growth with the potatoes, and if you don't get them cultivated right away, it can lead to problems down the road. So that's where we're off to right now. We're gonna head out to the fields and check on them. We won't have to cultivate until next week, and a big reason for that is because we've got a lot of rain moving across the state. For the next couple days, we're getting a lot of rain. A lot of rain. Hey! Well, it's nice to see the early potatoes are doing well. You can see we've got a couple rows here of early potatoes. These have really taken off. Yeah, these are just at about the point where we want to cultivate them. We could actually cultivate them today if it wasn't so sloppy. But these potatoes over here that are a little bit of a later variety, they're just poking out of the soil. We're just starting to see rows of green moving throughout. You can see here, there. Yeah, I think I'm right. Middle of next week, we'll be cultivating potatoes. That's exciting. It's nice to see them popping out of the soil. I don't know why every single year we plant potatoes, I'm like, they should be up by now. But they're up. That's one less thing we got to worry about. Just getting them cultivated and taking care of them a little more. Ooh, baby, look at that broccoli. All right, everyone, I just got home and we did something really big. Callie, what did we just do?
We put them in here.
We have some caterpillars that turned into butterflies.
But one fell down.
One did fell down, yeah.
Guys, so this is the stage. Egg, caterpillar, chrysalis, and butterfly.
And what stage are we at right now?
Chrysalis, so
And how many days until we start getting butterflies?
7 to 10 days.
Yeah, very good, very good. So we've got all our painted lady chrysalises right here, and very soon we'll be getting butterflies, right, Callie?
Yeah!
Well, anyway, now that we're home and we've just gone over our bugs, we can now end the video. I want to thank everyone for watching, and we will see you next time.
This is what
Bye-bye.
This is what they are. These are the chrysalis.
Oh, okay, bye-bye.